Sentinel Online. Now loading the GeekCast radio network of podcasts.
Cliff Jumper, commence countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Hello and welcome back to ToyCast. This is the 66th episode. We are officially back. This episode will air Friday the 13th, 2010. I am your host, TFG1 Mike, and I am joined by the world-famous YouTube reviewers, Balt Matrix and Optibotimus. Hello, guys.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Pretty good.
How are ya? I don't know about world famous.
Well,
I don't like that.
okay, North American famous. It doesn't sound the same.
We're famous on YouTube? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, my name's not Sexy Phil, so I'm not that famous.
Oh, wow.
What are you going to do?
So, yeah, ToyCast, we are back. I'm bringing in some new blood because some of the old blood is having... General Techno is in the process of moving, and I don't know where Pecan Court Michael is at this point in time, and Proto Man, we just had him on doing a TFCon roundup. So, yes. Yeah.
That must have been fun.
Yeah, it was actually. Kind of makes me wish I could have gone this year, but hopefully I'll go next year.
Next year, I can proudly say it's in Pasadena, California, and that's roughly about an hour and a half or so away from where I live in California. So I can proudly say that next year's BotCon will be my first. And I plan on having a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, Proto Man's convention is TFCon. It's up in Toronto, so...
I was actually considering going up there. I have a lot of real good friends that I met through the world famous YouTube.
There you go.
And a lot of them are really good friends of mine that I've been friends with this entire time, and they've been trying to get me up there. Biggest problem is that not too many people know this, but I am terrified of airplanes.
Really?
I cannot stand being on them. I should correct that. Being on the airplane's not too bad. The taking off and landing, I feel like I'm going to die every single time. And I hate that feeling. I don't like it at all. It's not a good feeling. So
whatever you do, don't fly Southwest Airlines then.
Oh.
No. I love Southwest. Don't get me wrong. I used to fly them all the time because I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. I used to fly them all the time back up to Providence, Rhode Island. But Southwest has this. You can sit anywhere. There are no assigned seats, and the cabin, the exit door seats are almost like a lounge. So you have the regular front-facing seats that you face up to the captain, and then you have on the opposite side of that seats that face the back of the plane. So it's kind of like being in reverse. So when you're taking off, it's like you're landing, and when you're landing, it's like you're taking off because you're leaning back. Yeah, you wouldn't like that too much.
That's weird. I didn't think Southwest flew that far east.
From Kentucky to Providence, Rhode Island, yeah, they do.
Baltimore is one of their hubs, along with Phoenix, and I think Rhode Island or Providence is one of their hubs as well.
Yeah, TF Green Airport in Providence. Yeah.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Yes, you do.
Look at that.
So, Optibotimus, what have you been up to lately?
Well, I just got back from almost just short of a month-long vacation. I was in Las Vegas. I was dual purposed, having a good time, and then my mother was also moving, so I was helping her move. So I know exactly what Mr. General Techno is going through, because loading up U-Haul trucks is never fun, especially when it's like 110 degrees.
But it's a dry
Not
heat.
Oh, anybody who says that needs to get slapped upside their head. I mean, I've lived in Michigan where there's way too much humidity. It'll be 90 degrees and 90% humidity, and that's terrible. And I've been out in Vegas where it's 110 degrees and you sweat by just standing there. It's obnoxious. Can't stand it.
Well, here in Baltimore, where the humidity is OMFG, you can sweat just by looking outside.
Are you?
That's impressive.
Yeah, here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I know the listeners really enjoy our weather reports, but here,
of course,
the other day, I had to walk to the little convenience store up the street to tide myself over between going grocery shopping earlier today. Just walking like less than half a block, I nearly just went into a puddle of sweat because it was so hot. Seriously, this is heat that will melt your skin off. This is like Terminator heat, and you don't reform into a, liquid metal body.
So I shouldn't brag about the fact that I think today's temperature where I'm at here in California maybe got to 70 degrees.
No, you shouldn't.
It's so beautiful, and I'm 5 minutes from the beach, so I get the ocean breeze. It's so nice, guys. I'm telling you.
Jackass.
Urge to kill, growing.
Oh, come on now.
Spada, what have you been up to, bud?
Oh, dude. This week has been the week from hell for me. Like half of my department is on vacation, so I'm single-handedly supporting 850-some users from like high-level server stuff to low-level IT stuff.
That's a lot of porn to filter out.
You have no idea.
Man. That is so... I don't even want to go there.
Yeah, we're not going to go there.
I don't want to go there.
Let me just... I will say this. Actually, no. You know what? I'm just going to let it go because this is a family show.
Actually, it's not.
I'm here to talk about some toys, and not the kind that you could pleasure yourself with.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I don't know if you guys have gone over to our website that we have created, geekcastradio.com. We just finished the show guide, which has been in development for the last year and a half that the network podcasting network we have has been launched. The new description for ToyCast reads, let's see, part of it, ToyCast is a weekly review show on what else toys. No, not those kinds of toys.
What kind of toys would you be talking about? I am a young, impressionable young man over here.
Yeah, right.
I have
You live
no
in
idea what kind of
California.
toys.
You're in Porn Central. What are you talking about?
That's up in Van Nuys. That's too far away.
Maybe it's Burbank.
Well, that's, yeah. That's there too.
Yeah. But for me, I met Nightmax's mom and Nightmax today. As we are just recording this, that's why I was late. Because we were...
Nightmax.
Nightmax's mom.
Is that the one who... Nightmax's mom said that she had a creepy dream about me the other night where I was yelling at her about online etiquette or something like that.
Yeah, that's her.
Oh, fantastic.
I met her and her son Max today for the first time, and we hung out and cool. Watched the G1 episodes off the Matrix set, and I let Max play with a couple of my Mighty Mugs and some of my robot heroes. I met them today. We actually went on a hunt, which I knew it was going to be fruitless, but we went looking for that bastard Transformers animated Rodimus Minor. And hitting 2 Toys R Us stores in this town, we didn't find a single one. It was all Voyager, Atomic Lugnuts, Voyager, Earth Mode Optimus, the Deluxes. Ratchet is just warming the shelves here, Cybertronian Ratchet. Bumblebees, Cybertronian Mode Optimus, just nothing. However, the second one that we went to, the second store we went to actually did fruit me a very nice find, seeing as how I don't have, and I probably never will have, the Comic-Con version of the Mark IV Iron Man Mighty Mug. I found the Mark 6 at Toys R Us. So that was very, very cool, considering on BigBadToyStore.com it's $22.99, and I paid $10 less.
Success.
You don't like the Mighty Mugs, do you?
No. I think the Mighty Mugs are fantastic. I don't collect them. It's not my niche, but I think they're really nice. I have had a love-hate relationship with BBTS ever since I ever found out about them.
So far, when I've actually placed orders, I've gotten everything that I've wanted. So I mean, I've gotten everything in a timely fashion. The checkout is very easy. The pre-order system is awesome.
Sponsor the show? Do they sponsor the show?
Not technically. I say they do, but we're not really getting anything out of it. I keep saying, I've said it for the last, I don't know, since episode 25 of the podcast, and in hopes that it would bring in more listeners and more subscribers and to be able to get them to sponsor the show officially, but no, they don't.
Okay, I'll reserve my statement since you're still trying to at least get them to throw you a bone sometime.
And honestly, the way I look at sponsorship, and I may be looking at this wrong, but as long as you give them plugs and read off whatever you're going to read off, if you're actually in a sponsorship agreement with them, I mean, I can say whatever the hell I want to say on my show. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, as long as we give them the proper credit at the beginning and the end of the show, that's what they get. I guess. I don't know. But I love their pre-order system because you can pre-order stuff, and then if you realize, oh crap, it's coming soon and I can't get it anymore, you can automatically cancel it without any, repercussion. So,
I'll say my biggest issues with, and I have used Big Bad Toy Store in the past, so I'm kind of a hypocrite when it comes to this. But I've never had a problem with their service. I've never had a problem with their ordering. None of that stuff I have problems. I have issues with, and I understand the nature of retail. I'm in it myself, but when you're marking up stuff that just seems ridiculous, I don't understand why they need to mark it up so much. And then, in terms of their shipping has gotten a little bit better, but I've always thought that their shipping was a little bit too expensive. So, those two things aside, Big Bad Toy Store, guys, go there, buy stuff from them.
So I guess we can get into the toy news segment here really quick.
By all means.
And as I've said before, because we've done a few special episodes before this, actually, before the actual return of ToyCast. I guess you could equate it to bringing Optimus Prime back to life, but
that works.
Yeah, that works. I haven't really
arise from your grave.
That's creepy.
I haven't really.
You don't know the reference?
It's still creepy.
Yeah, it's still creepy. I haven't really garnered down the news segment really because I also have a news podcast, All Things Transformers. So I basically on the toy news segment, it's basically going to be that toy news. But I wanted something that we could bring up, and one of the things for me anyway is they're showing off photos on TFW2005.com of the Challenge at Cybertron 3-pack, and wow. I don't know, I'm still out on the Hot Rod mold because it's not a translucent blue on the windows.
Swap it out with something else.
Yeah,
I wonder if you actually could do that.
I'm sure you could, but I'm no customizer. There's no way I could do that. But I do like the look of the figure overall, and I think I've never been a real big fan of the Henkei Cyclonus coloring because it's just too girly lavender, and it is. I mean,
you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
And this 3-pack version actually does him a little bit more justice, I think, because it's not as dark as the US version, but it's not as light as the Henkei version.
It's a good medium,
yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah. You guys have any other news items you want to bring up?
Well, shouldn't we mention the panel in China?
Panel in China.
Yeah, the big Cybertron, the Cybertron con.
Oh
in
yeah,
China,
yeah.
where they're showing off brand new Generations figures, including Perceptor, Lugnut, Jazz, Trax, Scourge, Thunderwing, and Grapple. And then they've got some new G1 Legends figures, and I think this is definitely newsworthy.
Yeah.
I would agree. I have to find it because that came out while I was on vacation, and I have to go over it again because my iPhone is fantastic, but when you don't have Wi-Fi, it's not that fun.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I always found this interesting. Why don't any of these TF sites bother to make mobile versions of their website? It's actually not that hard.
Well, tell them to do it.
Like they're gonna
teach them how to do it.
Like they're gonna listen to us.
Yeah, well, they should. We're world famous.
I'm not an internet personality.
Oh, that was a cheap shot.
That was pretty good, though.
I actually have a lot of respect. I got a lot of respect for Chris.
Yeah, but that was.
That was good, though.
Yeah,
that was
that
good.
was really good. I'm still looking for the stupid news article.
It is in the chat.
Oh, oops.
Oh,
that works.
Oh, but see, I'm on my iPhone on Skype, so I still have to search for it.
Dion, if you go to TFW 2005 and do by page, it's on the 4th page in.
4th page. That's what I was looking for. There we go. Oh, wait. I'm on the 4th page, so where's it at on here? Oh, wait. Oh, here we go. I found it.
Yeah.
And
we're having some technical difficulties here, but that's okay. It's nothing new to any of the Geekcast Radio Network podcasts, so.
The one thing I will admit is looking at these pictures, they're the typical, they're slightly photoshopped, but it looks like they were kind of a rush job because it looks like every single figure is mistransformed.
I can't even see Scourge's alt mode in the in the picture. It's like, oh, that chick's head's in the way. Well, duh.
It looks like a giant flying V.
It really reminds me of the BotCon Scourge.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very reminiscent of last year's BotCon Scourge, except more. I want to say, or actually, it's less individualistic. It doesn't have a canopy. There's no obvious.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to come up with words and failing. But
it's very unoriginal.
It really is.
It looks like a giant flying wing with some kibble.
Yeah, it does. The front of it, of the alt mode, now that I've got a little bit better of a picture here, and some chick's head isn't in the way, the front of it kind of reminds me of a stealth bomber a little bit, just the way the triangle on the front of the jet is.
I can see that, yeah.
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, I think more of just a giant flying V Predator drone or something than a stealth bomber.
Yeah, and I've never really cared for Lugnut, so I have no.
No.
I never really cared for Lugnut either, but the figure actually looks pretty good. Instead of the big bulky guy, he's much more lithe.
Yeah.
Than his animated counterpart, but he's still Cyclops.
Is the like for example, Lugnut, is that falling into the Generations line?
Yes, it is.
I don't agree with that. I don't think. See, I know that Generations is technically Universe 3.0, but I don't understand why they can't put characters like this in the Universe 2.0 line or Classics line or something. Of course, as we all know, Generations replaced all that. But I wish that they would have some sort of different packaging, because when I think of Generations, I think of classic characters. And no offense to to Sam Register and Marty Eisenberg and Derek J. Wyatt and all those guys, I'm sorry, Lugnut is not a classic character.
No, I totally agree. Lugnut is a brand new character. I like that he's getting a more classics figure, but I also can't think of what other figure could this be.
Yeah, really.
If it was not Lugnut, who could it be?
That's a very good question.
I can't think.
With the
way
his, I'm sorry. With the way his head is, I get a very, very Shockwave feel from it, similar to how Shockwave was in the first Transformers game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that I'm really pulling from him. You paint him purple, and he could pass as a movie-verse version of Shockwave.
I was actually thinking paint him white and purple, give him a slightly different head, and he becomes Ape-Face.
Ooh.
Well, with those arms, yeah.
Yeah, with those arms.
Yeah, that's literally I was thinking, who has really long, articulated arms, and all I could come up with was Ape-Face's Gorilla Mode.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
I'm looking at the Special Ops Jazz, and I'm assuming this is supposed to be an updating of G1.
I'm thinking so, because I look at it and go, and how is that transformation going to be different than G1?
Yeah,
but the difference
really
is,
looks the same.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Optibotimus, but the difference, Spada, is, at least that I can see from the picture, obviously it's more articulated, and it probably won't fall over like your commemorative. See, that's the good thing about them doing stuff today with today's toy standards of articulation and all that, going back to stuff like this, because they can actually make articulated toys that homage the original G1 stuff, and it's not a total brick.
I got in this really interesting discussion. Speaking about how like those are bricks and everything, I got in this real interesting discussion with this. I think it was a 30-some-year-old man on YouTube left me a comment saying how he didn't like the C-Cons that just released through Big Bad Toy Store. He doesn't like G1 toys because they lack articulation and they're nothing but bricks. And I said, well, what did you expect for something that was made in the 80s? I mean, as a kid, you're playing with the thing, you didn't care, but now kids are so much more sophisticated. And looking at this Jazz, it just goes along with, like you were saying, with the amount of technology that comes out, and it's fantastic that they're updating these. But I still have a very warm place in my heart for those bricks.
Some of them, yes. Some of them, not so much. It's really been weird for me because I've a lot of those G1 commemorative figures. I didn't have the first wave of figures growing up. I had Optimus, I had, I think, Starscream and Skywarp and Megatron, and that was about it. I really didn't have many of the Wave 1 figures. And going back and buying those Wave 1 figures and getting a hold of them, I start playing with them, and then I realize, some of these things aren't very good. And I'm looking at them from someone who's been buying Transformers since I was 12 and Beast Wars came out. Because I was starting to get back into Transformers around 11 or 12 when, Beast Wars came out and we started getting some Gen 2 stuff. And I got some of the Gen 2 stuff. I mainly got the figures that were new to the line, like the Rotor Force and the Laser Force.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really difficult for me to go back to some of these G1 figures. Now, some of them I absolutely love, like Prime and Megatron. I love those figures, just no matter what. But some of the other ones, like Grapple and Prowl and Jazz, going back has really been difficult for me for some of those G1 things.
I had the G1 commemorative Astro Train, And I was very disappointed that it was white and not purple.
It's funny. Growing up, I never saw one that was white. I know they existed. They existed, but I never saw one. It was always the purple one. In fact, I owned the purple one.
Yeah, I've got it too. Still.
My G1 collection is vastly undermined by about everything else.
Yeah, it's all those.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, it's all those Masters of the Universe Classics ones that you.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. I will have you know that my G1 Transformers are on the shelf above my Masters of the Universe Classics.
But you already had, and this is actually, we're kind of getting off the news topic here, but this is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show, so I could actually pick your brain about this, because I can understand if you're still trying to get the figures, but if you've already bought them, yes, you're still giving, I guess you're giving plugs to Mattel, but still, if it's something you love, and you know that people want to watch those videos, why not do them anyway?
Well, first, Spada, do you know what we're talking about? Are you up to speed with all this?
Masters of the Universe,
the Classics line.
The Classics line, I'm very familiar with them. I haven't bought any of them, but I know you've been reviewing them, and so is Jazz Santi over on YouTube. Right. I know he's been reviewing them.
Well, where this stems out, where I started commenting on Paul's stuff was, he did a supposed review of Battle Cat.
Oh, that was so good.
And
so many people. I'll tell you what. People got mad at me, and I actually got comments from people saying that they were going to call PETA on cruelty to my cat. This is what happened, Spada. Real quick, because we should stay on topic as much as possible, but. I was so incredibly upset. The biggest problem that Mattel has with the Masters of the Universe Classics line is that they sell them only through MattyCollector.com. And their servers are atrocious. They put you in this waiting queue where you're waiting, then you can access a page, and then you're waiting, then you can access another page, and then it just goes on and on. During that whole time, figures sell out in about 10 minutes. And it's ridiculous. I mean, they had a sale actually just a couple days ago, and it lasted for an hour, which was a shock. But the big figure that I really wanted, I was collecting them, I was reviewing them, I was telling everybody go and buy them, was Battle Cat. It was the first time that they were going to have Battle Cat since the 80s, and it was going to be a fantastic figure. I was so excited about it. And I went through to try to get one, and I got screwed. Long story short, I wasn't able to get one, and I got so aggravated that I did this whole mock-up thing where I took a box, I think it was like a shoe box or something, I taped white paper around it, and I wrote Masters of the Universe Classic, Battle Cat, and I started doing a review as if I was normally going to do a review, and then I ended it saying something along the lines of, this is the, and then I said, let's get him open and see how cool he is, and I had taken my cat, my 20-pound just, I don't know, huge, giant, fat-ass cat, and we carry him, when we take him to a vet, we put him on a harness, because he's too big for cat carriers, so we actually have a harness, so I put a harness on him, and I took a little, like a medical mask, like a doctor would wear, and I put it over his head, and he's sitting there on a chair just looking at me like he wanted to claw my eyes out. And I said, here he is, guys. This is Battle Cat. This is the greatest Masters of the Universe, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is so good. And I ended it by saying something, this is the closest that I'm ever going to get to owning a Battle Cat.
Yeah.
And then I went into this huge, long rant about how I think that Mattel is just screwing up the whole thing. And I said that I'm not going to be reviewing them. And people get this very confused quite often. They say, well, I thought you weren't going to be buying them anymore because Mattel puts out Ghostbuster figures too, and I buy those. And they're like, I thought you weren't going to buy from them anymore. I thought you weren't going to support them. And I said, you know what, guys, if you paid attention to the video, I said that I wasn't going to be reviewing them. I wasn't going to be promoting them or recommending them. That doesn't mean that I'm going to stop buying them. So I've still been buying them, and people give me a hard time about that all the time, but I see where you're going with this, Mike. Why do you why do I say all that stuff and then I still give them money? Because no matter where I buy them from, the money still somehow filters to Mattel, and I honestly don't have an answer for
This
you.
actually goes back to our discussion earlier about why BBTS hikes up prices. Okay? They are a third-party vendor. Now, just as my own feeble-minded knowledge of third-party vendors goes is, they have to make some sort of profit on their own, not counting stuff that may go to Mattel. So that's why I think they hike up prices. But honestly, when, and it's really more of a question of when, not if, but when I start buying these things, I will buy them from BBTS. When I was at Toys R Us this evening, I did see the DCUC, MOTUC 2-packs of He-Man and Superman, Skeletor and Luthor. I was not impressed. For $30 at Toys R Us, I don't want those figures. Just because they don't like Skeletor, he comes with the comic book version of the sword. He-Man only comes with the battle axe. And if I'm going to go after two of my favorite He-Man characters, I'm going to get the ones that come with the classic accessories.
Well, you need to have a He-Man with a sword.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
a He-Man without his sword is like Austin Powers without his mojo.
Well, I mean, you can't have He-Man without a sword. He-Man without a sword is just Prince Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't understand that myself, but I mean, I understand the whole markup thing. Like I said, I mean, I understand retail. I'm in it myself. But for example, if I'm not mistaken, if you go to BBTS, they're probably selling their master figures for $39.
The reissues are $34.99.
Okay, so that's not too terribly bad. That's only about a $5 markup because they're $20 for a figure and then probably $10 to ship.
Yep.
So I mean that's not too terribly bad. But there are some that I just think it's ridiculous. But that's a tangent.
Yes.
One thing you guys need to realize is when you are a third-party vendor, you are effectively paying a license to sell the product.
Right.
That's the way the toy industry has always worked. Unless you're someone that's massively huge, like a Walmart or a Target or a Toys R Us, you're not going to get past that.
Oh, very true. Very true.
And BBTS and Toy Wiz and WYSIWYG and a lot of these, let's face it, they're boutique outlets, have to pay what is effectively a licensing fee in order to sell these products. So they have to pay a lot. Now, also, in BBTS's case, they are, let's face it, they are using a markup. They just are. They're taking these high demand items and they're making money off of it. How is that any different from Apple?
Well, true. But the thing with BBTS is versus Matty Collector, Matty Collector does not restock because supposedly they're exclusive, only can buy on this, and then big BBTS comes in and buys a license to have them on their store. And like I said, I would much rather buy the Masters Classics line from BBTS and pay them, whether part of that money goes to Mattel or not, I don't care, as long as I get the figures that I want, damn it.
You said your piece, amen.
So getting back to these Transformers images.
Nice. I like them.
Yeah. They're awesome.
I think the only one that I really, really have some reservations about is the Thunderwing.
He's not a character I really know that much about, so I...
Comics.
Okay.
He was a major player in the comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also in the IDW Stormbringer series, he was a player.
Yeah.
But the figure just... Honestly, I look at the figure and I can't stop thinking about Energon Megatron.
Yeah.
I keep looking at it and thinking, I think it has the same transformation.
The only difference that I see between... Because I had the BotCon version of the Energon Megatron mold. Is that the Cybertron mold? Or the Energon? I don't know.
Cybertron is the one where he was a car and a plane. Energon was the one where he was that... He was the weird futuristic ship.
Yeah, that's the Shattered Glass BotCon 08.
Yes, the Shattered Glass one.
Yeah,
which,
I had that
honestly,
mold.
The Shattered Glass colorings and helmet work so much better.
Yeah, I had that mold, and the only differences I can see between that and this Thunderwing mold is the legs aren't as big on Thunderwing as they are on that Energon Megatron mold.
And they don't seem to fold the same way.
Yeah.
But other than that,
yes,
I will probably buy most of these. I really like the Legends. I think those are cool.
Now, have you guys seen the pre-order? I'll have to look it up in my pre-orders here on BBTS. Have you guys seen the pre-order for the G1 Prime Matrix of Leadership upgrade set?
Yeah.
Is that for the Legends figure, or is that for the original 84 Prime?
That's for the original 84
good.
Prime.
Good, that's what I thought.
Oh, wow. I had not seen this.
You hadn't?
You hadn't seen that?
No.
Ooh.
Oh my.
It comes out next month.
This is sweet.
Yes, it is.
It's very nice.
Yes.
This thing, it's been, what, about a month or so that this thing has been floating around?
I don't know if it's been floating around, but I know it's been on pre-order at BBTS. I don't know if anyone actually has it, but just looking at the picture of Prime holding it with his little chest thing open and holding it above his head, that's awesome.
I'm sorry, it looks pretty silly with that old 84 mold.
But
I'm sorry.
It's still awesome, though.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not awesome. I just find it very, very humorous for some reason.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I wonder if they would make this, if they would upgrade this Matrix, I guess Matrix, if they would upgrade the upgrade kit by making the Matrix thing for Masterpiece Prime and making it larger. That would be awesome.
Well, why? Why would you want that? I mean, the Masterpiece Prime already comes with all that stuff.
Oh, but it's not this. Okay, I don't know.
It doesn't come with the jetpack, unfortunately.
Well, no, but I mean, the jetpack is only in this set.
Yeah.
As a helper.
Okay.
I can't even find... Where is it on here? I can't even find it.
Search G1 Prime Matrix and it should pop up.
Just do G1 Prime.
Oh, there you go. Bingo. I mean, yeah, I get a kick out of looking at the articulated hands.
Yeah, those are a little funny.
It just... I don't know, something about it just looks weird.
They can't do that. No!
Yeah, it's like they're not supposed to. It's a very nice looking set. I don't understand. I like the gun. I've never liked the fact that G1 Prime didn't hold his gun actually at the handle.
Yeah,
I mean, he holds it.
Weird.
That was always strange to me. So I like the gun. The axe thing.
I totally dig the axe.
Well, the axe is...
Really?
Yeah, the axe is an homage to More Than Meets the Eye, with him and Megatron having the battle up on Sherman Dam, so...
Yeah. Well, so's the backpack, for that matter.
Yeah, jetpack, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, for $20, though, I don't think it's too terribly bad.
No, I don't
of
either.
A price.
Yeah, that's... as soon as I saw that list, I forget where BBTS linked it to first. It might have been on Twitter or something, I don't know. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, yep, pre-ordered. $20, not bad.
Yeah.
Yep. So...
It's for sure fun looking.
Yes. Do we have any other news bits we want to talk about, or do we want to just get into the display case segment?
I see the power cord combiner for the Dinobots?
Yep.
I skipped right past that. I scroll. I mean, I started seeing a whole bunch of like Japanese things, and I just scrolled real fast down. First thing I saw was Wind Charger. I didn't even see. God, Constructicons look like they've seen better days.
It's funny. The Constructicon set reminds me of all of the reject Constructicons from the first movie.
I wouldn't be surprised. Commander Steamhammer. Okay.
That's really a dumb name.
Grimstone is the leader of the Dinobots?
And it's a Triceratops, which is kind of stupid, but
the whole concept there is kind of I for the life of me, I have always wanted a really nice beast figure, but this is just ridiculous. Okay. That was another tangent. So what?
Okay, so we are going to head into the display case segment, and Optibotimus, you are going first, sir. What are you going to be reviewing?
Well, I have in my hands
finally
what I easily consider to be the best Human Alliance figure and I've got them all. But this is the best one of them all, and that's Human Alliance Jazz. This thing, I'm at a loss for words. I really am. I literally had to sit there and go back and freeze frame. I put the DVD for Transformers in, and I'm watching it, and I'm freeze framing it because there were subtle little things on this figure, like for the fact, like his visor flips back. And I'm like, why would they put that on there? I'm like, I know every other one has like this battle mask, and I'm like, that just seems silly. So I went back and I was freeze framing, and come to find out that he actually does have a like fold down visor thing in the movie that I didn't know that he had. Did you guys know that, or am I the only one in the world that didn't know this?
I haven't watched the first movie in a while, so I'm not really sure.
I've never noticed.
The scene where Jazz is first introduced, and he's like, "What's cracking, bitches?" or whatever he says, and he sits there, and then he flips back, and he sits on the car, and he kind of like crosses his arms. Up until that point, he has a regular face, and he crosses his arms, and as soon as he does that, his blue visor comes down and covers his eyes like he's pulling down sunglasses. I'm like, I've never noticed that before, and the fact that they included that on this figure is impressive.
Yeah, that's very awesome.
It's great, and the first thing that I said when I saw pictures of this guy months and months ago was, he's got hands! Oh my god, he's got hands! I am so happy that he has hands. I can't even gloat about this figure enough. I found him at where was he at? Target. Pia mentioned that he got his at Target and that they were doing a reset, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to go over there and I'm going to try it. And sure enough, there was one sitting there, and I couldn't be happier about this figure. Fantastic. I don't know. What else do you want me to say? I'm just beside myself. It's so many pictures, and it's just I'm just kind of rambling now. But I was staring at the pictures for the longest time when we first saw pictures of this guy, and I was nitpicky because I was looking at him like, well, he's got hands, I love it, but something just seems right. And a lot of the early pictures that we had, his chest looked like it was upside down, and I'm like, that just looks stupid. And come to find out, it was just mistransformed. The chest piece actually rotates 180 degrees, so now it's right side up. And I don't know, best figure. I'm telling you.
Which mode do you like better, the alt mode or the robot mode?
Now I don't know if you guys have seen Pia's review on it.
I have,
but he made a fantastic point that this car really is no bigger than, say, the deluxe version of himself. It's just a hair bigger.
Yeah.
And then when you transform him, every single part of his robot mode is just crammed into this car, but it doesn't make it look terrible or anything. And then when you open him up, the guy is as big as, I don't know, all my Human Alliance figures are in their vehicle mode because I was getting ready to do the review for him, but I mean, he's, don't darn it, I need to find something. If you were to take Deluxe Bumblebee, no, that's stupid. I need something. Okay, here's Voyager classic Voyager Optimus Prime. If you were to take classic Prime and add another head onto him, that's about how big Jazz is. Yeah, that's about right. And for me to take something as complex as they have with this figure, put it into such a cramped space like his car mode, and then when you fold him out and you transform him and he's so much bigger, it's impressive engineering to me is what it is. It's absolutely impressive engineering. So I would have to say I really can't pick a favorite mode. I mean, the car mode is spot on. I love the way it looks. I guess if I had to be nitpicky, the hood in the front grill area is a little bit panel-y looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cut. Not so bad as Classic's Ironhide or anything. It's not that bad, but it's just it's cut and it. If I were to be nitpicky, that's probably the only thing. And then robot mode is just glorious, simply glorious. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to see if I think Pia took an image, and it's not just in the video, but I think he took an image of the upside down version of Jazz, just balanced on his hands, no other balancing needed.
Oh, that was in his Twitter feed.
Yeah, I think I'm going to ask him if I can use...
As you're talking about that, I'm trying to recreate it myself.
Good luck.
I got the guy right here, and I'm trying to recreate it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to because I don't know what he did.
I don't know either.
I'm
going to ask him if I can use that picture as kind of like a special image in the website post because that image was just awesome.
Impressive.
I'm looking forward to getting a hold of that figure. There's just one little problem. In my area, we are only just now getting the Human Alliance Barricade figure.
Oh, wow.
We haven't even gotten Mudflap yet.
Honestly, that doesn't even surprise me because I just saw my very first Barricade when I went to go buy this guy.
Yeah, I only saw the very first Barricade maybe 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's right on par with this. Oh wait, here's the pictures.
It's so weird. Distribution for here is just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see what he did. Okay, here I'm recreating.
While he's recreating his the handstanding, breakdancing Human Alliance Jazz, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk about Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Bumblebee. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That doesn't sound
First
good.
of all, I do agree with you, Paul, when you said he's a cross between an avocado and a Ninja Turtle.
That was one of my best analogies that I ever came up with.
An avocado and a Ninja Turtle.
All right, let me give some preface for Spada. In his alt mode, he looks like an avocado, and in his robot mode, he looks like he's got a shell on his back.
He does.
I will agree with that. I'm turning around and looking at my Bumblebee as well.
Now, do you have him in robot mode or vehicle mode?
I have him in robot mode right now.
Oh, okay. Well, now, the back of them, even in my review, I think I pulled out one of my Ninja Turtles and I did a side-by-side comparison.
You did.
They look the same.
Yeah, it does.
It's hilarious to me.
I'm seriously... I don't know. While I like having the War for Cybertron toys, and I think it's great that they're making toys off of the game, I was expecting more of a not really a metallic, not metallic, I don't think there's a thing such as metallic plastic, but more of a metallic paint look to these figures, because in the game, they look like they're made of, really shiny metal. And the toys, just in general, with Prime and Bumblebee, I'm not that impressed overall. I do still enjoy them, but and it's just me nitpicking at that one thing. But Bumblebee, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not as thrilled as I thought I was going to be with his robot mode. His car mode, however, is awesome. If you can get it put together without the wheel breaking off. Thanks, Night Max's mom. Oh, yeah.
Bumblebee, I actually really do like the figure, but if I had to nitpick about anything with the guy, it would have to be the fact that his robot mode is just too damn thin.
Well,
if you look, it doesn't... To be honest, if you actually look back in War for Cybertron, if you look at the clips of him in the game, the toy and him are not anywhere close. They're not the same. They just aren't.
Well, and the other thing is probably, maybe the engineers didn't quite get... Like, I'm sure they saw pictures of the game designs and all that, but maybe they're like, well, how do we engineer all this with being able to fit all this crap inside of this car?
Well, it was either that, or I'm willing to bet, especially if you've played through I can't remember if it was the Autobot campaign or the Decepticon campaign that unlocks the artwork. There are bits of artwork in there where Bumblebee is a lot taller and a lot skinnier.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if somewhere along the lines, Bumblebee was shrunk down to his original size.
Probably. I am just glad that he is not top heavy because, I mean, his legs are super skinny, but his upper body with the shell and the chest piece and all, it's a shell. Damn it! I don't care.
It's a shell.
The back of the car is a shell.
Oh, yeah, he is definitely a shell former.
It's true. The thing that I always look at, I honestly think that engineers have a harder time putting a robot into a modern car. Now, when you have something like a Cybertronian mode where they're all, you got the robot and then you have their alt mode, and the alt mode doesn't really look like anything. You have a whole lot more creative liberties that you can take. So when you guys are talking about how you look at the picture of him in the game and how he doesn't look the same in the toy, I think that's just poor execution, in my opinion, because you have a vehicle that you can have so much, creativity with, and I mean, sure, you got to try to stay true to the way the game is, but I don't think I think it would be harder to put a robot into a 2010 Camaro than a vehicle mode that nobody on Earth has ever seen before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've seen that alt mode before. It's just a very heavily modified VW Bug.
Damn it! Stop stealing my thunder. I thoroughly enjoy the alt mode. Although mine, Spada, in your review, you said you kind of have to mush it all together to get everything to fit. Yeah, I've tried mushing mine, and if I mush it anymore, it's all going to break apart. Because, Paul, you may not know this, but I buy 2 of everything that I like. Because I don't... Well, for Transformers, I do. Again, this goes back to I haven't been able to get into MOTUC yet, so yeah, that's going to get extremely expensive. But for...
Well, you have a week to get their subscription thing.
$470 for 16 figures? No thanks.
But you don't pay for that up front.
I know, but still, that just doesn't seem like a good enough deal to me. I don't know. That's just the way I feel about it. But so I buy 2 of everything to display in both modes, and like I said, this guy he's not meshing well together in alt mode. I mean, he's there, he can roll and all that stuff, and he looks good, but there's still panel lines that aren't matched up, and yeah, but his transformation is just god awful. It just is.
I agree. To get everything, you have to take it and squeeze everything together. Not fun.
I had him like halfway transformed, and he looked like he was breakdancing for a while. because his head was in his ass and his ass end was where his head should be and all that. I don't know. It just, I like the figure overall, but the transformation is the biggest downfall.
It could have been. I really think it could have been executed a little bit better.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? What do you think of Prime? Do you think the Prime figure is better?
Well, I'm going to save Optimus for another episode, but overall, the only problem I have with Optimus in either mode, because I've got the alt mode version here, what's the deal with all of them having this little speck on the left side of the truck?
Wait, what?
Speck?
Yeah, it was in your review, Optimus. On the left
It
side
was?
of the truck, right on the wheel, on that top panel on the left side, there's like a little speck on there of mist. It's like part of the mold is ripped off on it.
Oh, you're probably
on the
talking
left
about the
side?
flashing from where the part was removed from the tree during casting.
Is that what you're talking
I
about?
guess. I'll take a picture of it and I'll show you guys on Twitter or something. I don't know.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's just. Yeah, that's all that is.
What I said.
Yeah, what you said.
Okay, but I just think that's a blemish. That
technical term.
You know. I don't know. It's kind of like the first Voyagers of Earth mode Optimus and animated didn't have Autobot symbols.
Well, that's just stupid.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't very fun.
But yeah, I'm going to save Optimus for another episode when we record another episode. But overall, I think he's good in both modes. Again, transformation, meh. But yeah. So, Spader, what are you going to be talking about today?
Well, I am talking about a figure that I actually just got a hold of today, and it is Device Label Blaster, or as he's known in Japan, Device Label Broad Blast.
It's a combination of broadside and blaster.
If you hear that clicking, he is actually a little USB, a 4-port USB hub that in the shape of a Toshiba laptop. And you know what? The damn thing works. I mean, it is a 4-port hub. It works on both Mac and PC. Oh. And it is actually pretty cool. I mean, as device labels are, it's pretty nifty. But the transformation is very, very simple. But what you end up with is very much Blaster. I mean, it's frickin' Blaster. And you can actually fit one of the tapes inside his chest. Unfortunately, I don't have any tapes here in the house, but any of his tapes or any of Soundwave's tapes will fit inside his chest. His transformation is very simple, but the overall effect is quite good. The USB ports do work in robot mode, and I did test that, and they work just fine. It's really weird having a cable coming off of a robot leg and then USB stuff sticking out of the leg, but it works. Posability is a little limited due to the figure being slightly top-heavy, but his wide feet do allow quite a bit of posability. I think my biggest complaint is I got this figure as a sponsorship from HobbyLink Japan, which I thank them for sending me the figure for review. I can't recommend purchasing this guy, though. If you've got him for like $10 or $15, sure, that's fine. But I can't remember. What is the asking price for it right now?
Big Bad Toy Store is $72.
And at HobbyLink Japan, it's $75.
Oh.
I mean, for the price, no, I cannot recommend it. I just can't.
Yeah, I have, like, outside of, like, the Ravage and the Cheetor ones that are USBs that have the little nifty thing on the computer with the characters, I have no use for any of the USB transformer stuff. I have no use for it. I don't hate it, like I hate the movie line, but I just have no use for it. Well, I think it's cool, and if people want to be true completionists and have it all, that's great, but I just don't see any use for it.
I mean, I already have a USB hub. Hell, both of my monitors are USB hubs.
Yeah,
so
it's a waste.
I mean, I have no need for a USB hub, and I really have no need for this figure. I'm not trying to be really, really down on it, but it's not bad. It's better than, I don't know, miniature Nike shoes.
Oh, well.
But I cannot recommend this thing to anybody, really. I mean, if you are desperate for a USB hub and are willing to part with quite a bit of money, go right ahead.
Well, now, my question for you is, well, I have a couple questions, because I was actually very interested in getting this, because I don't particularly have a G1 Blaster. That was always one that I kind of was very iffy about buying, because he's so big, and I have a hard time putting him next to my Optimus Prime and having Prime only come up to his, crotch.
Yeah.
But, so I've always steered clear of getting a Blaster. Now, how well does this guy fit in with the classic figures in terms of size?
Actually, he is a full head taller than Generations Optimus.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And I have a video review.
Horrible.
As we are talking right now, I am currently encoding my video review for this figure.
Ah.
So hopefully by tomorrow morning, I will have the video review up. But he is a full head taller than Generations Prime.
Okay. Now, I absolutely love the device label Soundwave.
That's the MP3 player with Rumble and Frenzy as headphones, correct?
Correct. I don't have the Rumble and Frenzy were separate add-ons. I do not have those ones. I just have the Soundwave figure himself. Mm-hmm. That thing, I think it works perfectly. There's not too much junk hanging off him or anything. It just works well. Now, from looking at this figure, the Blaster one, it looks like he's just got everything hanging off of his back.
No. The only things that are hanging off of his back is the actual, what is to be the LCD screen of his laptop mode. That's the only thing that hangs off his back. Like, the middle part of the laptop hangs off his back, and then the sides hang off his shoulders.
Gotcha. Okay. And what happens with the wire?
Well, I was just about to mention that. My biggest complaint is the wire that comes with this guy is only 13 inches long.
Oh.
Now, that includes both USB ports and the 2 AC adapters that are included that are built into the wire.
Oh.
So, and this is a micro USB cord, so you would think that any micro USB cord will work. Well, not really, because you need the little adapters in the cord in order to get it to work. I've already tried it.
Interesting.
This cord is too damn short. I mean, my desktop PC, I plugged this thing into the front USB port on my desktop PC, and it was just dangling in midair. This thing is too... I mean, the actual cable is a whopping... I can tell you here. A whopping 5.5 inches between the two AC conversion parts.
What?
It's a very, very short cord. I mean, it's barely bigger than my Bluetooth Apple keyboard.
Wow.
That's terrible.
That's god-awful.
Yeah. And
for $72, I mean...
Yeah, and all of the pictures on all of the websites, if you look at the laptop screen, it's obviously Windows. Well, no, it isn't. It's actually just a red and it's just the Autobot symbol on a red and black background, which actually I think is pretty cool. And that clicking sound you hear is me opening and closing the LCD screen on the toy / thingy.
So wait, the actual view screen that we're led to believe looks like a Windows screen actually isn't?
No, not at all.
Wow.
And I know the reason, too, because they couldn't license the Windows from Microsoft for it.
That makes sense. There was something else that I wanted to ask that it's gone. It was there, it's gone. Just like that. I'm getting senile or something.
Maybe Battlecat stole it.
Why'd you have to go there?
Because.
But I do have to say that I was not joking. I got emails upon emails, people saying that they were going to call PETA on me because of cruelty to my cats, and I had to straight up tell them, like, this is a 20-pound cat. Don't you think he's, a little bit spoiled? He's 20 pounds. He's not. He does not go without anything. Trust me.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention really quick about Bumblebee, going back to him really quick, is this the first Bumblebee that we've had that actually comes with a weapon? The gun?
Well, in terms of what? Because I know, like, the deluxe ones from the movie, he had that gun that transformed into a blade.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think what Mike is asking is this the first Generation 1 style Bumblebee that we've had with a weapon? And as far as I can remember, I think yes, actually.
Yeah, because I don't remember original G1 little mini Bumblebee having a gun.
No. I'm trying to think back in my mind.
Don't hurt yourself.
Well, well, I know. Do you consider the alternative Bumblebee? Do you consider that G1 style?
I don't know, because I don't think the only alternatives I've seen are the recent ones, Starscream and Skywarp and all that. So I don't know. I was basically meaning like the original G1 toys and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's very cool that they put a weapon with him outside of his little movie type translucent pink reddish blade things.
Well, I know his Pretender version had a gun.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
But that, still, that's going pretty far back to think of a G1 inspired Bumblebee with a gun. I know Classics didn't come with one.
Yeah.
His Action Master had one. I know that. I've got that figure.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. I had the Action Master Shockwave, and I played the hell out of that little guy. I love that little thing.
The only thing that I do not like with this new continuity that Hasbro's going with of Transformers with Exodus and War for Cybertron and all that, I don't like how they are bringing in the movieverse gimmick of him not being able to talk. Because and Spada and I talked about this in the All Things Transformers little special there that we did on the book versus the game as far as War for Cybertron goes. But I meant to bring up that in the book, he is made to be a talking or semi-talking badass spy changer bot or something or other. And he talks in the game, obviously, as Johnny Young Bosch, but it's like, in the book, it's like, oh, wait, he doesn't have a voice. This is Movieverse. And I'm like, oh, God, stop making Bumblebee a mute, you assholes.
The thing that, I think it's stupid. That's just my personal opinion. I think the lack of talking is stupid. But if you're gonna do that, I think you need to kind of explain a little bit better why Bumblebee doesn't talk. Now, I read some of the prequel comics.
Yeah,
and it was in there, but
I mean, if they don't want him talking in the movie, I don't have a problem with that. Fine, whatever. But, I have a problem with them bringing it from the movie into the supposed future of all continuity that they're trying to set up. I don't like that.
Well, now, do you think they're going to carry that over because the whole Transformers Prime is a hybrid of movieverse BS? So, do you think they're going to bring that into that as well?
I think they possibly could be, yeah.
Well, in a movie, okay, I mean, it can work because you're sitting there for 2.5 hours, okay, whatever. But in a TV series, that's going to get boring pretty quick, I would think.
Not to mention annoying.
Annoying, I mean, absolutely. I mean, they're already the trailer that we saw at, what was it, at San Diego Comic-Con that we saw the little the little blurb.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already hyping Bumblebee up in this series to be a main character as well. So if you're going to have a main character who's a mute, it's going to get boring and very annoying quickly.
Oh man, why am I flashing to Animaniacs? It's mime time.
Oh jeez. Maybe that Animaniacs, that's good stuff. But I mean, what would you rather have? Would you rather him in this Transformers Prime? Would you rather him be a mute, or would you have him be the annoying animated version?
All right.
I would rather have him be what he was in the game with Johnny Young Broad.
Yeah.
Because that was the perfect Bumblebee voice.
Very true.
Yeah, I hope that these producers and directors and all that on which I find it hard to abbreviate this new series TFP because it's like, Beavis, I need some TFP. Go get me some TFP for my bunghole. It just.
That was the worst impression
I
I've
know.
ever
Well,
heard in my life.
No. TFP.
Well, that's pretty bad too.
I am the great cornhole.
Good lord.
But
I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
And there's another series that's coming
Yeah,
back.
let's not get into that. But I agree with Spada. I would much rather have Johnny Young Bosch voice him in Prime if that's possible. And I will actually ask Johnny that later this month when I get to interview him, hopefully.
Yay!
Oh, that'll be fantastic.
Yes.
Tell him I said hello. It's kind of creepy. Don't say it like that.
Yeah, no, I won't. So I think we're going to table the discussion for this episode since this is episode 66, and as we all know, episode 66 always has issues. But we'll bring it up next time. Do you guys have, Optibotimus, do you have anything you want to pimp out? Maybe give us a teaser of upcoming videos you may be doing?
Oh, good lord. I've recently a lot of people have been complaining to me because I haven't done quite as many Transformer reviews lately. So I just put up my review for the Big Bad Toy Store C-Cons, which fantastic set. But Spada, you were talking about quality control briefly before we started this whole thing, and I gotta say that the feel for this thing, and I didn't mention this in my video, but after playing with this thing some more, it has the feel of a knockoff. Kind of
really
cheap. It really does. I mean, when you're moving certain parts, the plastic feels thin and fairly cheap.
The TFCC Collectors Club, the only parts that I had any issues with were Nautilator and which one is the squid tentakill? When you flip out the legs. Those were the only parts on that whole set that felt flimsy.
Huh.
The rest of that set, I have to give the Collectors Club credit. They really, really did a good job with that set.
Well, it was your review. I will say this. I wanted one for a while, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend the money to get one. And I watched your video, and I was like, you know what? I'll throw down the money. I'll go ahead and get them. But just I can't even think of a part on him. I mean, even Snap Trap's, the little heel spur thing that flips down, doesn't do anything for my figure. It won't hold him up at all unless I have his gun. Now I don't know if this is something that's typical, but unless I have either his that big massive gun or the sword in his hand, he falls back every single time.
Really? Because I did not run into that problem at all.
See, now that disappoints me.
With my set.
That disappoints
me.
It's
really funny. A lot of people bought that set, but other than some video reviews, I have heard nothing about it. I haven't seen anything on any of the boards.
About the BBTS set?
Yeah.
It's another one of those things where I really like it in package, but it's not a character, or any of them, it's not a character that I would want to have. It's not that I don't want it in my... It's not something I would want in my collection, unless I...
That thing has
it's an obscure...
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing with that, but yeah, I was kind of disappointed in that aspect, and I didn't mention it in my video, and I really probably should have, because I was even thinking of it while I was playing with it, because I got it delivered to me while I was on vacation, and I had my niece help me with the review, and she brought it up. She's like, this really feels like if I push too hard or something, it's going to break. I'm like, well, if you're doing it wrong then. Then I grabbed the thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're right. It does feel very thin in terms of the plastic. Now, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just mine, but kind of disappointed me. But there was that I got. I have I did the one sponsorship, I suppose you could say, which I don't want to talk too terribly bad about them, is the Crazy Devi folks over in Japan. They send me their stuff, and I got the head for Superion that I just put up.
Yeah, that's a nice head for that, and I like how they're.
It's a nice head, but it's so. I mean, and I gotta agree with everybody who says it. The parts are expensive.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the head for Superion is $31.
Well, what makes him that price is the fact that he has light up eyes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But I mean, even still, I mean, you get the actual Devastator parts and the just the hands, where you get the hands and the forearms. That's $31 too. But I mean, it's hard for me to recommend those to people that are not hardcore, fans. I mean, if you want a Devastator that looks like Devastator in the cartoon, you're either going to have to spend a lot of money on a custom, or you're going to have to get a G1 version and customize it yourself with the Crazy Devi stuff. And either way, you're going to be paying a lot of money for accuracy. But there's that. I got to do my Battle Blades Bumblebee. I just got Generations Thrust, which is I've been tinkering with him, and he's fantastic.
He's a freaking awesome figure.
Oh, it's fantastic. Fantastic. And somebody on TFW did a fantastic job, and I don't know the name, otherwise I would recommend everybody go check it out. Did a fantastic comparison between him and the BotCon version, and it's a very good video. I don't have the BotCon version of him, so I've been waiting for this one.
That was Optimus Scourge, I think.
It's nice. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. That's him. So, I mean, that video, I'm going to be working on that one. I got the Human Alliance Jazz. I got... God, I'm trying to get Transformers stuff so that people get off my back about not doing Transformers. Legend Ravage I found, and what is this? I said I wasn't going to get any of these, but I got the Power Core Combiner aerial bots. Now, the only real reason why I got this was because I saw a review for PR where he took two of the limb figures from the aerial bots and two of the Combaticon ones, and he actually made Huffer look good with those two. So I don't know.
Yeah, my stance on the Power Core Combiners is they are toys for kids. They're not toys for collectors.
They're not. I mean, I love Huffer. I think Huffer's fantastic. But that's about it. I mean, I read somewhere that they're trying to get people again involved and curious about the whole combiner thing. Mostly because I think they screwed it all up with Energon and all the trilogy crap. That's just my personal opinion. I think they're trying to rectify some of the screw-ups that they did with that whole thing.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if they're also preparing something for the third movie.
Could be.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because the combining between Optimus and Jetfire in the second movie was cool in the movie. The toys was probably the most horrific combination thing I had ever seen.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. And Michael Bay himself, when I remember reading an article when he was in between 1 and 2, the movies, they were, he was talking about Devastator and how you have to have a combiner and everything, because he's like, well, we had a whole bunch of robots in the first movie. Now, how do you top that? Well, get bigger robots. So there's Devastator. Now, how do you top bigger robots? Have a lot of bigger robots. That's my theory, but that's pretty much all I have. That'll take me through the next couple weeks.
Okay.
My reviews.
What about you, Spada? What do you got going on?
Holy crap, I am surrounded by figures. I have a ton of Armada and Beast Machines figures here. I've got Magnaboss, Tripredicus. I've got Armada Jetfire, Armada Overload. I've got some Galgai Gar figures. I've got some other figures from Japan. I've got some upcoming Sentai figures that I'm going to be doing. And I'm also going to be debuting probably in the next week or two my first actual Gunpla video.
Oh, awesome!
So I've got a master grade Gundam that I've just finished building, and I'm going to be reviewing him. I got some other models, and then probably the one thing I'm looking forward to that is going to be a total pain in the butt to record. I am going to be doing what I'm dubbing the Dance of the Armada Mini-Cons video.
Oh, that already sounds disturbing.
So is that going to be any worse as the Transformer that set your house on fire?
Let's just put it this way: it's going to be stop motion.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you think about the mini-cons. That's like what, 4 frames of motion?
Yeah. So, oh boy. Okay,
I am looking around the room, and I easily have 30 videos worth of material here.
Well, get cracking.
I don't have time. It's like I literally at one point had plenty of time and no figures. Now I have all these figures and no time.
That's the way it works.
Yes.
Damn you, adulthood!
Yeah, how dare it creep up on you?
Wow, I wish I could cue in the Toys R Us theme song right about now.
I could sing it for you if you want, but I'd probably scare people away.
Oh, hell, we've had much scarier happen on this show, so that doesn't matter.
Well, speaking of running away...
Yes, thank you for joining us here on ToyCast. There are several ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. You can comment on each episode post. Join the forums, PredaconEmpire.com/Nexus. Leave the show feedback in iTunes. Please do this. We need more reviews. Follow us on Twitter. The show name there is TF ToyCast. Mine is TFG1 Mike. Spada, what is your Twitter?
You can find me at Balt Matrix. That's BALTMATRIX.
And Paul, what's yours?
I'm pretty simple. It's Optibotimus. OPT. Oh my God, I got to think about how to spell my own name. See, Spada, he went and spelled it, so now I feel I have to. Forget it, I'm not spelling it. It's Optibotimus. If you don't know where it is, then forget you.
OPTIBOTIMUS.
See, and you spelled it fast, too, so now you're just rubbing it in.
That's right.
Asshole.
Call the voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving the message for and your name. 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this episode of ToyCast and wish you'll join us next time. Be sure to visit BigBadToyStore.com for all your Transformers and other toy-related needs and more. For now, I am TFG1 Mike with Spada and...
Optibotimus.
There you go. Thank you for listening.
Well, I'm like, wait a minute. Why did he say his name and then you make me say mine?
Because normally when I say okay, yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back next time.